These beliefs were never mine. They were just handed to me by people who wanted me to stay the old me. And these beliefs, they're not yours either. They're simply what you've been fed to keep you in line. You see, as I've grown older, I've learned that the world teaches us certain things to keep us small and make sure that we don't become any type of threat. So if you still believe this stuff, you're not free, you're just comfortable. Number one, trust the science. So in school, the main thing I remember being taught is that we need to worship science above all else. Like whatever the science, the current science says, that is the ultimate truth and it cannot be questioned. And look, I'm not saying that I'm on some enlightened shit and that gravity is not real and that I'm about to, float up out of this room right now. Now, of course not. Science in its true meaning, experimenting on things without having a certain bias about what you want the result to be, obviously that's played a massive role in advancing our technology and our medicine and our society as a whole. But as we grow older, I think most of us start to recognize that all too often science is just used to support a certain narrative. So there's this logical fallacy called an appeal to authority, which basically means a lot of times people believe something just because someone in power told them that that's what they should believe. That they saw it on the news or a politician said it or in school their teacher told them, so that can't be questioned. It's got to be true. And that's why the year 2020 was so eye-opening for so many people, because we were told to trust the science. It's safe and effective. If you get the shot, you can't get the virus. You can't spread the virus. But then we all started to see with our own eyes that, that's what we're being told, but that's obviously not true. It's just being used to keep us in line. And if you question it, you're going to be ridiculed as a bad person. Or recently I saw there was a piece of literature published in the Scientific American, a scientific journal, that argued that, and I quote, "Inequality between male and female athletes is a result not of inherent biological differences between the sexes, but of biases in how they are treated in sports." Like a scientist is legitimately claiming that a WNBA team cannot beat an NBA team, not because men are bigger and stronger and more powerful, but because of societal expectations. And I know you might be thinking, yeah, I get it, David, but these things, they don't really affect me that much. What's the point of worrying about it? Well, bro, what definitely does affect us is if we get into this mindset where we trust what we're told more than our own experience, and then we start to let other people make decisions for us. Seriously, think about it for a second, bro. What decisions have you made or not made in the past because it would have gone against what you were supposed to do? I wasn't supposed to quit my software engineering job and pursue YouTube. That's not how the world works. You got to get your degree and then follow your career path, and that's how you make more money. That's how you advance. It would have been great for the software company I was working for at the time, but not for me. Number two, life is all about being happy. I think we're all taught growing up that we have to make decisions and do things that make us happy. What makes you happy, bro? That's what you got to do. You got to do what makes you happy. So that's what I did. I'd wake up as late as I could because that felt good. I'd drive into work. When I got to work, I would scroll through Instagram, avoid doing anything too hard because that wouldn't make me feel good. After work, maybe I'd take a big pre-workout because that felt good and go to the gym. Then I'd go home. If I had a girlfriend at the time, I'd hook up with her. If not, I'd jerk off and get that release because that felt good. I'd look forward to the weekends where I didn't have to work. I could just go out and drink because being drunk feels good. Then sleeping the next day because that felt good. And honestly, I felt amazing. Objectively, I was experiencing all these dopamine releases and I felt good. But I was slowly dying inside because I wasn't experiencing any growth or any progress in my life. And then those dopamine releases, they start to feel a bit more meaningless each time, right? You just bust a nut, then you're sitting there, or you wake up hungover the next morning, you're sitting there feeling like a piece of shit. So what do? Well, you go chase the next dopamine release, right? To get happy again. And that's why I no longer believe in doing things that make me happy, because I've seen firsthand in my life that when I've embraced self-improvement and doing hard work, even though I'm not as happy on a daily basis, now having seen this growth in different areas of my life, I'm actually satisfied and proud of myself. And I'm not living this selfish life anymore, just trying to feel good. Number three, the government will help me. So, honest question here, and I'm not asking this because I want a certain response. In fact, I'd like you to drop a comment below and tell me, what has the government done for you personally? Seriously, think about that for a second. Drop a comment below. Because for myself, other than the government taking about 40% of my income each year, I can't think of anything that like the current ruling politicians have done that has a direct impact on my day-to-day life. Growing up, man, I genuinely used to believe that the government was meant to help people. And back then I would have supported a socialist government with high taxes that would redistribute the wealth so everyone could, be happier and live a better life. But man, the facade is fallen. And it's now obvious that the government's role is to protect the power of the establishment class that currently has the power. All they're doing is being human beings and acting in their best interests. Well, I should take that back. Sometimes the government is interested in helping other people. It's interested in helping the people that are giving them the money to become elected, like the big pharmaceutical companies or the military industrial complex companies. They're very happy to push more medicine and more wars because that ultimately is how they get the money that allows them to run and get the power. And again, you might be thinking, cool, David, like it seems like you're just complaining about this shit. No, this matters to all of us, and it deeply should matter to all of us because it's easy to fall into this mindset that a certain system is going to help us and we can rely on that system. Seriously, think about this for a second. What systems are you relying on right now? In the past, I relied on the fact that if I get good grades in school, that will mean that I'll get a good job. And if I get a good job, then I can rely on, the system of my employer to pay me and facilitate my career growth. I just got to show up and work hard.
But I needed you to stay here and work late because you were an invaluable member of this operation, and I need you in the position that you're currently in.
I no longer believe that because I've seen the evidence in my own life that the only thing I can rely on is myself. If I don't do the work that guarantees a certain result, I'm never going to get that result. It's never going to happen. Number 4, conflict can be avoided. In the past, if I had a problem with one of my friends, I would just hope that if I avoid talking about that topic or if I just don't hang out with them for a little bit, then it will go away and it will be all good. Or if I had an issue at work, I would hope that if I just, work really hard, my boss will see that I'm working hard and he'll reward me. I don't have to have the conflict. It's not needed. With my first couple girlfriends, man, if there was something I wasn't happy with, I would just play this game. Have you ever played this game where I'm just going to act a little bit distant and disinterested in the relationship, and then she'll realize that she's done something wrong and she'll act sorry and that'll fix the issue. On my high school basketball team, when I got benched, I thought, no, if I just, practice hard, eventually I'll get the playing time back. It's gonna work out. I don't have to talk to the coach. I don't got to do that. But if I look back in my life, it's very obvious that none of these strategies worked because the fact is that avoiding conflict, it just makes the problem bigger and bigger and bigger versus facing the conflict. It actually strengthens not just my character, but actually the relationship that has the problem. It gets better because of the conflict. When I wanted a promotion and a raise at that software job, eventually I went into my boss's office and said, hey, I'd like to contribute more and make more money. Can we set out a roadmap of the things I need to do in order to get that done? Then we had the conversation. I added more value to the business and I got a raise also. Or with Julia a little while back, I didn't like that we'd be hanging out at night and sometimes she'd be on her phone and not present with me. So even though I didn't want to have the conflict, I told her, look, if we're watching a movie or hanging out at night, I don't want you to be on your phone because no longer does it feel like we're having quality time together. Of course, she didn't love that boundary at first, but because of it, the relationship has grown even stronger. And look, something else I did not believe in for far too many years was that having a skincare routine was not important. I was wrong. It's very important. And that's why I decided to partner with Tiege Hanley to be the sponsor of today's video. Seriously though, think about it. Implementing a skincare routine that gives you clear, healthy skin and gets rid of the acne, then you look in the mirror, you feel better about yourself. That is going to boost your confidence in every area of life. I recommend starting with their Level 1 system, which comes with all the essentials: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and a PM moisturizer to use before bed. Oh, and to make it super simple for guys like us, each box includes this little cheat sheet that tells you exactly when when, how much, and in what order to use each product for maximum results. But don't just take my word for it. Trust the millions of guys who use Tiege Hanley with over 16,000 5-star reviews. And Tiege Hanley thinks you'll agree, which is why they give you the handsome guarantee. Love it or a full refund, no questions asked. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're hooking us up with an amazing deal. If you click that first link in description, you're gonna get 40% off your first box. Plus, they're throwing in a free gift that's worth $20 on its own, and you're gonna get 20% off for life as a Tiege Hanley member. Just click that first link in description to level up your skincare routine and your confidence today. Number 5, my education will prepare me. So growing up, I truly believed that if I just studied hard and got good grades, then my life would be set. I'd get a good job, I'd get paid well, everything would be good. And look, I'm not saying that there's zero value in education in school. It did teach me that I get rewarded for preparing and performing well, which is true across all things in life. But bro, basically none of my success came from anything that I learned in school. Building this YouTube channel up, launching the different businesses that I've scaled, I didn't learn any of that in textbooks or from my teachers. We're not taught personal finance. We're not taught how to deal with conflicts. We're not taught how to socially move and operate. We're barely even physically pushed at all. And today it seems that, the liberal arts education is more concerned about making us aware of racism and being inclusive to everyone than actually preparing us for anything, man. And even if we're not gonna get into the woke stuff, it's still a system of you just gotta memorize the facts and recite them back correctly, and then you get a good grade. Bro, real life has nothing to do with memorizing facts about Alexander the 13th. Alexander the Great. Alexander the 13th. There's a little known historical figure. I'd even go as far as saying that unless you're gonna pursue a career like being a doctor or a lawyer that requires a certain degree, it's basically worthless. And even in those careers, your success and the amount of money that you earn, it's not going to be tied to how well you performed or how well you read the textbook. It's still going to be based on the same shit as success in any field. Your ability to take risks, to learn from your mistakes, to not give up, to pivot when you face a certain wall. Honestly, probably 100% of my success has just come from taking risks, accumulating more experience, improving my skills, and doing that over and over and over again without giving up. Not from some book that a college professor wrote 25 years ago. Number 6, women are inherently bad. So I do agree with the fact that current society has tried to elevate women and feminine qualities above men and masculine qualities. It's this idea that it's good to be in tune with your emotions and share things and be inclusive, but it's bad to be strong. Or if a little kid is, running around being a little bit hyper, that's bad and he should sit still. It's this stupid idea of toxic masculinity. Luckily, I think probably all of us, here today can agree that the facade has crumbled and we can all see through the lie that has tried to be sold to us. But I'll tell you something that is true. After years and years of feeling invisible to women and feeling like they're always just gonna choose a guy who's, naturally more handsome or taller than me, I started to resent them. I started to not like women, to have negative emotions towards women. These hoes, man, my life's probably better off not even worrying about them. And if you're watching this video, likely a woman has done something negative towards you in the past, whether she's betrayed your trust and cheated on you, or entertained talking to you for weeks and months, but then ultimately dated another guy instead. And all these things are definitely true, and the current dating market definitely is skewed more in favor of women. Especially if you're an attractive girl, things are gonna be easy. As a man, we have a more uphill battle, to say the least. But anytime we start to generalize that all women are bad, it's just so clearly coming from a bit of bitterness or one or two bad experiences that we've had, and it's just a way of trying to make the world easier to manage. Because if all women are bad, then I have no responsibility and there's nothing I need to work on, because regardless of what I'm doing or what I did in the past, I still would have been fucked because the women are bad and they're always going to get me. As men, we're always going to be judged and rewarded based on our actual performance. Nothing is going to be given to us. So because of that, we got to adapt, man. Yeah, the current dating market is not great, but to say that all women out there are bad and it's not worth trying, that's just some like defeatist bullshit. I think a better, more empowering mindset is, yeah, the odds are against me a little bit, but there's still some great women out there. I just have to put myself out there, level up as a man, so that when I meet that woman, she's going to be interested in me. And then it's also going to be my job to set boundaries and craft the relationship into something I want. And maybe that's not the perfect thing that's going to make me the happiest, but that's reality. Number 7, social hierarchies must be respected. So my first year at Boston University, I joined the snowboarding team. And I remember coming in and being like shit my pants afraid of the guys who were at the top of that hierarchy. The guys who'd been on the team for 2 or 3 years and could just shred the gnarliest snow. And I came in like, man, I have to respect the leaders. So for example, there was a couple really cute girls on the team that were just my type, and I so badly wanted to make a move on them and maybe, make one of them my girlfriend, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. I couldn't make the move because I felt like those girls were, that was the privileges of the guys who were at the top. I had to defer to them. It wasn't my place. Now, I do think it's important to say that social hierarchies are not bullshit. There's a lot of value to observing them and understanding where different people rank on there. But it's also important to understand that that shit is just an illusion. It's not a real thing. It's only real if you treat it real. I used to treat it so real that it just fed deeply into my social anxiety and always made me feel below other people. Bro, we're all humans. There's no one out there who's above you. There's no one out there who's below you and that you're better than. We're all just fucking humans on this journey together. I will say a little trick that I've learned is that when I enter a new social group, once I recognize who the leaders are, I'm going to make an effort to befriend those people. And my mindset is, look, I'm an outsider who's outside of their sphere of control, becoming friends with them, because that makes it just a natural thing to do. But then it also naturally positions you at the top rank in that hierarchy. And the people who are below you, they're not actually below you, who maybe feel, the illusion of being below you, will immediately have a high level of respect for you. Number 8, a relationship will complete me. So back in my simp days when I was afraid of women, I always had this fantasy that one day maybe I can get a cute girlfriend and it will complete me. It'll make everything better, man, because if I have a girlfriend, no longer will I have to go out trying to talk to girls and, facing rejection, even though at the time I wasn't even trying, man. But no longer will it matter that I'm a shy and quiet guy because I'll have a girlfriend. No longer will I have to worry about taking risks and getting outside of my comfort zone. Life will just be good, bro. It'll just be fucking awesome. Now, eventually, I did get a first girlfriend. And there was value to it, man. It was nice having someone to hang out with and watch Netflix with. It was nice when I went to my family gatherings that I no longer felt like this loser loner. I could tell them about this girlfriend that I had, man. She met, actually, did my first girlfriend meet my parents? She might not have met my parents, but it was a good time. And that's not even to mention the regular sex that I was finally able to have, which definitely is something that felt like a fantasy earlier on in my life. But once you have that girlfriend, once you have that relationship, what's next? For those of you who are in a relationship or who've been in relationships in the past, you know what I'm talking about. There's kind of like 2 paths you can go down. The first path is just to relax fully into the comfort of having the girlfriend. You get a little bit lazier. You don't have to take risks anymore. You just enjoy the warmth and the comfort of that. But then what happens to those guys? Those are the men that have a breakup and it completely shatters them. Their entire identity was that they were this guy who had this girlfriend, and now they don't have this girlfriend, and now they're lost. Now they feel alone, and now they have no warmth and no validation in their life anymore. I'm sure a lot of y'all have gone through a breakup like that. It kind of happened to me after my first girlfriend, and it's this crisis of identity where you have to find yourself again. Because what happened was the relationship turned you into a soft man, a soft feminine man who no longer had to go out and hunt and no longer had to take risks. You got soft. What I've learned is that the right mindset, or at least the right mindset for me to take, is when I'm in a relationship, my mind goes from, okay, no longer do I have to, push myself and face fear in my dating life. So where else can I push myself now? Where else can I face fear? Where else can I get that growth from? And that's how I challenge you to think as well, because that's when you can use the supports of having the girl to push yourself to even higher heights. But the fact is that, man, no girl is ever going to complete you. And if that's what you're thinking, you're setting yourself up already before you have the girl for that terrible fucking life-shattering breakup. The harsh truth here is that nobody else can complete you. Nothing outside of you can complete you. You have to become whole on your own. And when we're in this mindset of like, man, if I just had a girl, everything would be better, we're just looking for some simple band-aid solution rather than examining our life and thinking about what could I do already on my own without relying on someone else that would make me feel actually proud of myself. For me, that was pushing myself in the gym, being able to look in the mirror and have a body that I was proud of. It was setting goals for myself in my career or with hobbies or side hustles I have, like launching this YouTube channel, giving myself challenges and rising to those challenges. That's what's made me proud of me, regardless of whether or not there's a woman who's involved in my life. And that's my question for you. Outside of females, what are you proud of in your life right now? Because those are the things that you can really depend on. That being said, if you're looking for real tangible ways to improve your life outside of women, then you need to watch this video next. This video is about 7 attractive hobbies that all men should learn. All of these played a massive role in my self-improvement, and they continue to today. Click there to watch that now. If you're new to the channel, click down there to subscribe, as I drop 2 new videos every single week and you don't want to miss them. I will talk to you in the next video. Stay beastly.